last question for Michael and Julian. We also can talk about, for the new immigration or the second generation immigration, how to set up our career paths in here, also what kind of challenge or how actually we address this kind of problems or the challenge to achieve more. Yeah. Hi, Michael. Would you want to share your opinions about that?
Yeah, I think, programs like MJAA or CASPA or others, right? I was like being able to connect with other people that have similar experiences to you and being able to really talk about it and bridge that gap between, staying true to the Asian or to the Chinese culture and the Chinese values, but still being able to succeed and thrive, in American cultures, sometimes don't match with each other. And so being able to discuss with a community and a close group to be able to stay authentic and be able to succeed. I think that's the way that I see it. I'm born, in America, and so there's different culture and different values that have ingrained in me, as I've grown up here, but that I also see, the values that my parents have taught in me and being able to represent those, as I keep going forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably couldn't have said it any better in terms of really that piece of, for us, it's interesting being a Chinese American. Sometimes growing up, I didn't feel like I was Chinese enough, but I also wasn't American enough. And I think, and my parents came when they were much older, in their 30s. So I grew up with very traditional parents in that sense. Which is good because I got to speak Chinese at home and I learned about the food, the culture, the values. And it is very important to me that I remember that part of my identity. I think in America, sometimes what happens is we have, the model minority myth, which says that as Chinese Americans, as Asian Americans, we're doing fine. We don't need help. We're the model minority. And when I was early on in my studies, I had some experiences where I was told, you don't qualify for this program to get exposure to Caltech. I was very excited about going to Caltech. And that was because Chinese or Asian Americans were not considered minorities. At the same time, I also, in my family, I'm the first to go to college. My parents didn't get a chance to go to college, and they grew up in the villages of southern China in Kaiping. And so I didn't understand why I was not qualified for that. And it was only later that I realized, it's because I'm Chinese. So for a long time, I didn't really think about my identity as a Chinese American. And in fact, I didn't bring it up because I felt like, am I taking away resources, from someone else that needs it more? But as what Michael's saying, that authenticity piece is so important. And over time, you start to realize like it's hard to code switch and to go between two different identities. And I think with the pandemic, I started to really understand the misconceptions, right, that people have of Chinese Americans, Asian Americans. And I started to realize this is very important to not only step into that part of my identity, but embrace it and to show people, no, these are misconceptions. Like we are leadership material, because that's one of the thoughts that people have. And that we, as a community, can really overturn these misconceptions that people have. And so just like Michael, I have found that the best part has been to find others who feel that this is an important aspect, to raise our voices, to show people what we're capable of beyond just doing getting the work done. Like we can represent as leaders. And in fact, we have a lot of leaders that have made such a big difference in the US, right, with the different companies that have been founded and led by Asian Americans. And as I'm seeing more people speak out about that, that's what gets me to be more inspired to also speak up. And I think for us, that's the first step, is finding our voice and then showing and demonstrating how we are effective leaders and then being able to really work towards uplifting the whole community, because that's what it will take to change the misconceptions that people have. So I hope that helps with, kind of sharing our own.
Thank you for this kind of, the live suggestion. I will try to summarize, in the Mandarin. And 我这个问题呢是强调可能是中美的或者是中国的这个移民如何去发展，但是其实我们如果退后一步，从一个小县城然后去北上广深，难道我们就不会遇到一些 culture 或者其他的一个 challenge 吗？其实我们离开我们自己的家乡，人生在整个一个 journey 的过程当中，在每个地方我们都会遇到一些 culture 或者是其他的文化或者价值观上的这个不一样，但是现在的这一个社会 global 的来讲，大家还是尊重创新的，就是你有自己的这个 innovation， 你有自己的一个 identity， 然后呢，你也发出一个自己的声音，让这个 community， 让其他地方知道你，这样慢慢的大家就会去接受你。我觉得这是一个最重要的一个 lane。第二点呢，就是如果的确遇到了一些 culture 或者价值观上或者其他地方的一些困难，本身也会有很多的 NGO 作为一个 buffer， 给大家进行一个缓冲，然后你在这些地方呢都会找到一些助力点或者是锚点，帮你去实际上去分析这个问题。因为有的情况下你就会觉得这是不是我是一个华人的身份，或者是某某的是不是一个移民的身份造成，但其实可能从别人的角度来看，它只是我关于这件事情我有这点opinion，别人是在就事论事，或者是我们在就事论事，但是大家就是 misunderstanding， 这其实反而就发挥出来了。无论像 GGO， 然后像这个华美或者是 MJAA 这些 NGO 组织的一个功能，帮大家 build 一个更广泛的一个 networking， 以及尽可能去消融这些误解，然后大家再出发，就在过程当中。但是我们应该知道，我们无论是从小县城去大城市，或者从中国去美国，我们都会遇到一系列的问题，可能是来自于价值观之不同，然后可能是来自于 culture 生活上的这个习惯的冲击。大家只是求同存异，但是大家肯定会 respect 你自己的 innovation 的创新，然后你自己的 opinion， 你自己的这个 identity， 以及我们自己的 culture， 无论是这个一个 community 的 culture， 还是我们自己国家的一个 culture， 我们都会很 proud of 我们自己。我觉得是这样的一个形象，其实你无论是走到哪个地方呢，大家都会是有理有利有节的 show your respect， 也很愿意跟我们去合作，然后我们一起去做得更加的沉淀这一层的 culture， 沉淀这一层故事，然后可以做得更好。谢谢三位不仅是在自己的业界自己的 career 做得非常非常的出色，然后呢同时也非常显示了自己的这个 leadership 在整个的一个西海岸有非常大的一个 impact。 小伙伴们如果感兴趣也可以去申请，这次呢也是我们3个 community 互相的 say hello build trust。 谢谢大家的时间。 Okay, good.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was nice to meet you, Zubin. Yeah, we should have more. We should have the events then with MJ and CASPA, the hikes and all that.
Right, definitely.
Yeah, if you're in the Bay Area, then easy to collaborate.
Yes.
Love to collaborate.
Yeah, I think as Julie said, Asian American can be great leaders, and there's so many leaders in our semiconductor industry. Jensen, Lisa, Hawk Tan, there's a lot. So we should be proud of our identity. So that's what I'm telling my kids. You should be proud of as a Chinese American. So
we are, yes, and I definitely think
we can leave this room and chat with each other offline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.